Hi, this is CC Cycle 1, Week 22. So we had a visitor today, John. He joined us, and so that made 8 boys in our class, and it was loud. So we are getting to the beach towards the end of the year where some of the boys have already gone through this cycle, and kids know a lot of the information, and so they're talking a lot, and they're just wanting to kind of do their own thing at this point. So I feel like there was a little bit of correcting in that regard, but other than that, it was fun. We did for our science today, we talked about minerals. We brought in our mineral kit, and we got to apply all kinds of great knowledge from the man that came and visited with us last week. We got to apply all that to our experiments today. So that was a lot of fun. We just broke, we'll include that paper in their science journal at the end of the year, and they just got the opportunity to pick a few of the minerals that looked interesting to them, and then they went through the lists of tests that we had. So they got to look at the luster of it and the color and the hardness of it and all that. So whether or not it was magnetic, so that was a lot of fun. Excuse me, I'm trying to cook dinner and do this at the same time. For fine arts, we talked about Mozart, and I gave him just a really great overview of his life and tried to be kind of quick about it because we were running a little bit late from the beginning as soon as we got into class. So Mozart, I gave an overview of his life, and then I just went through the timestamps. The song was 11 minutes, so I went through the timestamps once with them, and I explained just how the song, how all the different themes were broken up, and then I let them get comfortable, and we just had quiet mouths and just listened to it straight through without stopping. And so that was a really enjoyable piece today. And then for new grammar, this is what we did. So for South America, for geography, we talked about South America. We talked about the western coast of South America today. And next week we'll talk about the eastern coast, and it's all going to be to the same tune, which is the Macarena. So it went South America, West Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. Hey, South America. And then we'll continue next week. For math, we talked about the commutative law for addition and multiplication. And the commutative law for addition states A plus B equals B plus A. And I had 2 sheets of paper, one with an A and one with a B. And so I just had the students come up, and we had fun getting switching and being, one's A and one's B, and then they swapped, and then they did it for the other side of the equal sign. And so we just went through that. We took turns, 2 students each time, and they had a lot of fun with that. Let's see. Tell me about the British North America Act of 1867. And we sang through the song several times. What else did we do with that? That was it. We just sang through that song several times. I had them stand up, and we tried to get a little rhythm going. The song's kind of strange, so and it's fast, so that just became really loud. So we just finished and moved on. Let me see. I'm trying to see my boards over here. So we for Latin, this was our last week with fourth declension noun endings. And because we had a new student in the class, and we were just trying to give him a full overview of what we were learning about, we just took out our chart and we reviewed the sounds of each of them. We talked about how we could remember each of the declensions, and we did that again in review. And then we sang through them really fast, and moved on. For English, we were talking about linking verbs, and I told them that we were connecting that back to week 20, where we talked about, where we put it to the tune of the ants go marching. And so pardon me. So we did a linking verb makes an assertion by joining two words. A linking verb makes an assertion by joining two words. Feel, become, remain, taste, and then it will continue the next 2 weeks that we meet, I think. So that was what we did with that. And then we just went through and sang it through several times. So I think that was all we did. For science, we talked about what are some kinds of weather fronts. So we briefly talked about weather fronts and what that meant. I said that we had a cold front coming in this evening, so that was kind of fun to associate with. But so for signs, we used ASL, we used C for cold front, and W for warm front, and we said, what are some kinds of weather fronts? Some kinds of weather fronts are cold, warm, stationary, where the two meet and nothing's happening, they just don't move. And then occluded, so that's a cold front coming in, pushing the warm front up. So occluded. And then for timeline, we started with NATO, and then we went all the way through to U.S. astronauts walk on the moon. And so we just went through them, and then we sang the song. I had them all put their heads down, and we sang the song as I hid them around the room. And then as they were finding them, we sang the song again, just that block. And then I had them put them on the table in the correct order. And as they were putting them in order, we continued to sing. And what else? What else did we do? And yeah, that was pretty much it. We've got through it 7 times, so I know we did it. So I think that was pretty much it, guys. I think I covered everything. So I hope y'all have a great week. Oh, we did talk about presentations, and they all really liked the idea. I think they all really liked the idea of doing our presentation to the history song about Emperor Justinian, or Constantine. Wait a minute, am I saying that right? Emperor Constantine and the Byzantine Empire. And so I had them each holding a letter for the HISTORY part. And I thought maybe they could do that, doing something with the cards. And so we're going to try practicing it. We only practiced it through one time. So we're going to try practicing it at the beginning and the end. If you could just have them listen to it, maybe that might just get the song refreshed in their minds, because that was back from week 11. So, and we might do also them just talking about the Byzantine Empire and maybe pinpointing those areas on the map. So I think that's what we might do. Some other kids mentioned maybe doing the helping verb songs. So maybe we'll do all 3. So because they would be relatively quick. So all right. Well, thanks, guys. I hope you have a great week. Bye. Oh, enjoy your next 2 weeks off. Oh, one more thing. I asked the kids to pick out a rock and put it in their backpacks, because we have the next 2 weeks off. And so if they could pick out a rock, maybe not today because it's raining, but pick out a rock tomorrow and just put it in their bag to bring to class next week. I'll try to remind you in the weekend before we come back, Easter weekend, or no, the following weekend. So I'll try to remind you, but maybe a rock that they can't identify, like they're looking at it and they're like, I'm not sure. So we're going to try to identify them in class when we meet next. So I think that's it. I'll text you if I ever think of something else. So, all right, bye. Enjoy the next couple weeks. Happy Easter.